Now to a 12 News exclusive. A Tucson criminal defense attorney says that his client has been detained, questioned, and released in the ongoing Nancy Guthrie investigation.
12 News journalist Sean Rice has been tracking this story for days now. And what have you been able to pin down here, Sean?
Yeah, Troy and Kribe, the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department will not publicly name any suspect or person of interest in the Nancy Guthrie case. But I've spent the last several days working to learn who exactly was questioned at a home this past Friday. That's when investigators served a search warrant at a home that's just 2 miles away from Nancy's own home. We can now report that that man under questioning was 37-year-old Luke Daley. In the Catalina foothills area late at night back on February 13th, the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department were at two scenes at a home just 2 miles away from Nancy Guthrie's home and in the parking lot of a Culver's, taking a very close look at a Range Rover.
We develop a lead and we follow it.
That lead led them to 37-year-old Luke Daley. In a statement to 12 News, Chris Scalepi, Luke Daley's attorney, said, quote, Scalepi Law can confirm that Luke Daley was the subject of two search warrants issued and served on February 13th, 2026. Mr. Daley and his mother were both detained by law enforcement while these search warrants were being executed. Neither Mr. Daley nor his mother were arrested in connection to the case or any other. Mr. Daley has no link whatsoever to Nancy Guthrie and has no information related to her kidnapping. Like the entire Tucson community, both Mr. Daley and his mother are hopeful that Nancy will be returned to her family unharmed. Chris Nanos tells 12 News they presented evidence to a federal judge, got these search warrants, and processed both scenes, not only in search of suspects, but also in search of Nancy herself.
Nancy wasn't there. The person of interest gave us a statement, gave us his whatever the warrant was for, maybe petition for physical characteristics of buccal swabs or photos or finger. We got everything we needed, and he is set free. Mm-hmm. Now, does that mean he's not a suspect any longer? No, we'll do our work. We've got evidence to process from the home. What if we find Nancy's DNA in that home?
Daley and his family members were all released after the multi-hour investigation. He does have a criminal history, arrested in 2022, later convicted of drug distribution charges, and he was sentenced to 4 years on probation. He was arrested again last year in possession of fentanyl and a gun. His probation officer filed a petition to revoke his probation, but a judge allowed for him to remain on the streets and not be sent to the Pima County Jail. And because DNA evidence will likely be crucial to finding who did this, it's important to note that Daley's DNA profile would likely be in CODIS. That's the law enforcement database that stores DNA from people who have either been convicted of a crime or have had their DNA collected from a separate crime scene. Now, in the Guthrie case, we've been told there have been no positive DNA matches from any of the evidence they've collected.
All right, Sean, did Daley's attorney say any reason why he thinks he was targeted?
He does not know. The specific attorney himself is on vacation, so he hasn't been able to really talk one-on-one with his client to this point, at least according to the conversations I've had with him. Of course, there has to be some sort of evidence that authorities present to a federal judge that gets to the bare minimum of probable cause. That's what they have to meet in order for a judge to sign off. So we don't know what that evidence is yet. I can't find that search warrant. I believe it's sealed at this point. Hopefully he can get his hands on it so that we can see exactly what evidence they had against him.
Yeah, and we haven't really heard what any of these tips are that led to these, warrants.
Right, exactly. So it could very well have been a tip, right,
Yep,
Sean?
could have been a tip. There's been over 15,000 tips at this point submitted to both agencies investigating this, the FBI and the Sheriff's Office. So very well could have been one of those tips, could have been somebody he knows. I'm looking into that right now.
Yeah, that may be linked up with enough for that search warrant to be issued.
Right.
All right, Sean, thank you very much.